Welcome back to Well, That's Interesting. I thought we'd be way closer to humanity's destruction, total destruction, than that, but this is still really close, though, edition.
Okay. There were like 40 parts to that.
I know, it was really long. That was a long one. That was a long one this week.
Okay, let's start with humanity's total destruction. Hasn't it already happened? Is it not underway?
Several times, yes.
I think it's...
It feels like that.
I feel like it happens every day. We're ending every day, and then we go to bed, and then we wake up, and then we end it all again.
Oh, it's funny you mentioned that. Cycles and days and time. That's interesting.
It's a cycle, and we are in it. We are it. I'll stop talking.
Today is episode 074. Let's talk about the Doomsday Clock.
Sounds about right.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, you ready?
No, but who is? Who is?
Well, I'm Jill Chacha. And I am with just the existential Marissa Riley.
I'm very existential today.
That happened real quick.
I know. It took nothing.
We haven't even started.
I think I worked out for like a full hour. Normally when I work out, it's like for a cute 20 minutes. So today I worked out for a full hour. So
yeah, you were just
I'm in the raw right
You were just running from your problems, literally.
Yeah. It didn't work. They are still here. But, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Learning about this Doomsday Clock.
Doomsday Clock.
Pumped.
Great. If this is your first time listening, welcome to the flock.
Welcome.
Dr. Riley here comes in cold and learns everything in real time, just like you.
It's true. I really had no idea I was going to have an existential crisis.
Within the first 2 minutes.
Within the first 2 minutes of this podcast. Y'all got to hear it. I hope you enjoyed and sang along. But yeah, I really had no idea what we were going to talk about. I always just assume it's going to be butts. Mm-hmm. We cover butts a lot.
We do.
Parasites and things.
That's coming. Don't worry.
Oh, but I was about to ask, how does this connect to butts?
Well, not in this episode. It's coming later, down the pipeline.
Got it. I'll keep, I was about to say, I'll keep probing you at the beginning of every episode. And that's just a little too good.
Well, just keep putting your money on butts. But it's that'll happen eventually. But today it's a little different. Today we're talking about the Doomsday Clock.
Amazing.
And when I say Doomsday Clock, I bet a lot of urgent questions come to mind.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And is that a real clock? Who made the clock? Why the fuck is there a clock to begin with? And when it strikes midnight, what happens? Bad things? And how much time do we have remaining?
Lots of questions, and I'm guessing it's not a real thing. It sounds like a cult.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
It sounds like a cult.
It does.
There are all kinds of
clock cult.
Yeah. They're like, you know what? We don't have time to talk about this every day, so we're just going to make a clock. And then when that goes out, that's it. The end.
Here you go.
Voila.
And give me all your money. That's right.
Oh yeah. And in the meantime,
you got to have the money part.
I always forget that cults are for money.
Yes.
And nothing else. But yeah.
Yeah.
Money and control.
Yeah. It sounds like a cult. It's actually even more devastating. How's that?
What?
Yes.
What's worse than a cult?
Oh, I guess we should begin then, huh?
We absolutely should.
Well, all the questions that are flowing through your mind right now, they're super valid. And I'm happy to say there are answers for all of your questions, and they're super interesting. And there's still some time left on the clock. So
okay.
I want to put that out there just to reassure you.
Good to know.
Very, very little time. All right, but we should begin. And what better way to begin than by heading back in regular clock time to January 20th of this year.
That was days ago, but it feels like months ago.
Yeah.
Feels like, what is today? The 26th? We're recording on the 26th.
Yeah.
That was less than a week ago.
Yeah.
That was 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. I'll stop talking. Anyways.
I feel you. We all feel you. So it's January 20th of this year. And we happened to be at a press conference being held by a bi-monthly magazine called Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists.
Sounds like a cult. I'm sorry.
No. And they're about to announce what time remains on the Doomsday Clock. Okay. And I know, it does sound like a cult. It sounds like something right out of like a Marvel Universe situation.
Oh, you connected it to Thanos before I did.
I know.
This is so Thanos. This is Thanos with the clock.
Yeah, there you go. That's Thanos with the clock. But this is all super real, and it's just stick with me here. Okay. Now, according to thebulletin.org, incredible website, thebulletin.org, the Doomsday Clock is set every year by the Bulletin's Science and Security Board in consultation with its board of sponsors, which includes 11 Nobel laureates. Okay. The clock has become a universally recognized indicator of the world's vulnerability to catastrophe, from nuclear weapons, climate change, and disruptive technologies in other domains. End quote.
Oh, so this is real.
It's real.
I really wasn't taking it seriously for a long time. Because I really thought it was
the names are...
the bulletin of whatever really doesn't sound.
The bulletin of whatever.
It's when you put what is it called? The bulletin science secure.
The bulletin of atomic scientists. Is that what you're referring to?
When you put the word science in like a thing, I'm just assuming it's a cult. I mean, and there's no science. Yeah. Scientologists, there's no science.
No.
It's a story and money. That's all it is.
You're gonna get us killed.
I mean, I don't know. Moving on.
Moving on. This is totally real, and it has quite the history, and we're absolutely going to get into it. So we have to get past the language first, which can be a little weird.
I'm moving on. I'll stop comparing it to cults.
Okay. So when setting the Doomsday Clock each year, the Bulletin asks two important questions. Quote, is humanity safer or at greater risk this year compared to last year? Oh. And is humanity safer or at greater risk this year compared to the 75 years we've been asking the question?
Oh my God.
With a focus on man-made threats, nuclear risk, climate change, and new disruptive technologies, end quote, said the Bulletin's president and CEO, Rachel Bronson, at this press conference.
This sounds like they're taking real things.
Yes.
Real science into consideration.
They really are. They really, really are.
Oh, thank God. Yeah. This is wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, it's a metaphorical clock. It's kind of like an art piece created by the best minds in their field that the Bulletin says functions as a warning to the public about how close we are to destroying our world.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
This is cool. I mean, it's not cool at all.
I know what you mean.
The premise of this is not great because we did this to ourselves. But that's so cool.
It's so cool. Yeah. So let's answer that first question. If the proverbial end is at midnight, how close are we? So, Dr. Marissa, please tell us what this group of concerned scientists has decided. What time is it?
I would love, I actually really, really want to know. Okay. From Mindy Weisberger at livescience.com, quote, Doomsday is as close today as it was yesterday, according to a hypothetical timepiece known as the Doomsday Clock. For the second year in a row, the clock's hands hover at 100 seconds to midnight, the hour of humanity's destruction, end quote.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're there.
We're nearly there. We are less than 2 minutes to the end, my friends. Yeah.
It's going to be 2 minutes in 2 minutes.
I know. It sounds really bad.
I need more info.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds bad, and it is. But if we've learned anything on this podcast, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Here's what I mean. Now, in proper fashion, the Bulletin moved the clock's hands forward to 100 seconds to midnight in, you guessed it, 2020.
Oh.
That's right. Shaving off 20 seconds from the previous year thanks to a few things like the fucking pandemic, the other plague, known as misinformation.
Yes.
The uncertainty of the U.S. election, setbacks, and inaction in climate change legislation, just to name a few. Now, there are the doomsday hands of time remained in 2021.
Okay.
And here we are today in 2022, still at 100 seconds to midnight, which is awful, but believe it or not, it didn't get too much worse over those 2 years. So we're basically in a shitty limbo. That's where we're at right now.
I'm actually really confused.
Yeah.
As to what you mean by 100 seconds to midnight.
Yeah.
Like, is Doomsday was it supposed to be in 2021? What does that mean? I'm so sorry. I need the 7th grade definition.
No. Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, so midnight would be when, I guess, according to the bulletin.org, all hell would break loose. There's no turning back. Some bad shit's going to happen.
Midnight when?
Oh, it's just a metaphorical countdown. We're this close to it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Yes. I kind of get it. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So if we were an hour away from midnight, okay, it's a lot of time. But we're 11 seconds. We're kissing.
Oh,
we're at the doorstep. Terrible.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, I was really confused for a second there. I see that this is a grand scope. This metaphorical day.
Yeah.
Is
yeah, if you had 24 hours.
Yeah.
And we're 11 seconds away. It's,
That's wild.
That's
wild. Okay, I kept translating this poorly and just being really confused and being midnight is every day.
Yeah.
Are we ending? Is this a Groundhog's Day thing? But now I understand. I understand the metaphor. Yes. Apologies for my...
Oh, no. I'm glad you cleared that up. I'm glad you cleared it up. I'm 1,000% sure members of the flock were like, what the fuck is she talking about? Because this is a weird thing.
It's very
I've never heard of it before until January 20th when I read a bunch of articles coming out it's 11 seconds to midnight. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Yes, but now I get it.
Yeah.
I see it's a very specific metaphor that some people do get. And I thought I knew what Doomsday was.
Yeah.
It's the end of the world, right?
Yeah.
Just want to clarify that. But yeah, that's very interesting. Thank you for clarifying that.
Absolutely. Holy moly. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, the hands have been at 100 seconds to midnight for 2 years. We're in a shitty limbo. That's basically as positive as I can get about this. Dr. Marissa, please tell us what handful of events occurred that made the panel decide we're not any closer to death, but remain pretty close.
Wonderful.
Please tell us.
Well, I would love to. All right. From thebulletin.org's 2022 statement, quote, last year's leadership change in the United States provided hope that what seemed like a global race towards catastrophe might have halted, and with renewed U.S. engagement, even reversed. Look at that. Indeed, in 2021, the new American administration changed U.S. policies in some ways that made the world safer, agreeing to an extension of the New START arms control agreement and beginning strategic stability talks with Russia, announcing that the United States would seek to return to the Iran nuclear deal and rejoining the Paris Climate Accord. Look at all that. Perhaps even more heartening was the return of science and evidence.
I know.
Wow. The return of science and evidence to U.S. policymaking in general, especially regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. A more moderate and predictable approach to leadership and the control of one or two largest nuclear arsenals of the world marked a welcome change from the previous 4 years, end quote.
One of two of the largest, yeah.
One or two of the largest. How embarrassing that they had to say that Trump getting out means the return of science and evidence.
Yeah.
to our policy making.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so embarrassing.
Yes, it is. It sure is.
If you are a non-US listener, what is it like to look at us? Like, what is that like?
Yeah.
Are y'all embarrassed for us?
Oh, they are.
Do y'all make jokes? I mean,
Yes.
we make jokes about it, but then we cry ourselves to sleep. So, like, less so now. More it's about the pandemic. But
Yeah. I mean, it was terrifying. It was terrifying to have ineptitude. I mean, we all see it. We all know the repercussions.
so embarrassing.
Don't need to explain.
Yeah. Anyways.
So yes, these were small victories. Victories that prevented the bulletin from shaving off more time, but not enough victories to add time.
Okay.
So that 2022 statement also noted, like, Russia, China, and the US are knee fucking deep in making hypersonic missiles and anti-satellite weapons, heads up, taking the Cold War into a new direction. No one is doing anything about misinformation. Proposals and actions to reduce fossil fuel use and replace them with sustainable energy are laughable in the US anyway. Ukraine is about to be invaded. And let's not even talk about economic inequality and inequity in vaccination rollout.
Oh my God.
In sum, quote, despite laudable efforts by some leaders and the public, negative trends in nuclear and biological weapons, climate change, and a variety of disruptive technologies, all exacerbated by a corrupted information ecosphere that undermines rational decision-making, kept the world within a stone's throw of apocalypse.
I feel like everything you just read, like, it's like I just looked at, like, my work inbox.
Yes.
And it's just full of emails starting at, like, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, I thought we were doing, like, I thought we were, like, all doing 9 to 5. And it's just like, I'm never going to get to read all of these emails.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I'm never going to get to
That
this.
overwhelming feeling, that's a reason why we're 11 seconds to midnight.
Because our inbox overflowed and people were working outside of office hours.
Doing the wrong thing.
Yes.
Not even doing the right
Could
thing.
it have waited? Yes. I'm kidding. It's because I work with people who are in a different country. So it's fine. That was their 9 to 5. Anyways, enough about me.
Continuing the quote then. Global leaders and the public are not moving anywhere near the speed or unity needed to prevent disaster. In view of this mixed threat environment, the members of the Science and Security Board find the world to be no safer than it was last year at this time, and therefore decided to set the Doomsday Clock once again at 100 seconds to midnight.
Oh my God.
End quote. That's a devastating assessment. I'm exhausted.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, and it really underscores that we need to make the right decisions in the coming months. Otherwise, this year board is going to shave off more time.
Ah!
Yeah. And if you're wondering, have we ever been any closer? Good news, we haven't.
Not even a medieval times.
This is
that plague.
This is actually the closest we've ever been in modern history. So please pat yourself on the back. You're surviving through the worst time period in modern history.
I like
so
how
there you go.
I like how we're
Round of applause.
surviving. Yeah, well done. I like how we're surviving the worst time in history and also ordering sushi to the door. Like it's
insane.
Crazy. So much terrible stuff and I'm like, you know what? I feel like eating anything I want to eat for any price right now.
Yeah.
Wild.
So round of applause. And my friends, that's really saying a lot because stick around after the break. We're going to talk about the second closest time because it really puts where we are now and what we face into perspective.
Oh my God.
And we're going to learn about where this bulletin of the atomic scientists came from.
Yes.
And why it's actually taken so seriously.
Okay.
It's wild, my friends.
Oh my God.
Wild. Stay tuned.
Please do.
Hello everyone, Stakuyi here.
And I'm Gabby.
And we are the hosts of History of Everything, a podcast which you can probably guess by the name is, well, it's about everything. Do you want to know why people thought potatoes were evil and would give you syphilis? Are you curious about all the stories of the terrible and stupid ways that people have kicked the bucket over the years? Do you want to hear tales about all of the different badasses of history and the lives that they had brought to life? Well, if so, then look no further. History of Everything is just the right podcast for you. It's available on Spotify, Pandora, and anywhere else that you get your podcast from. Join us for some fun and just see how weird and wacky history can be.
Have you ever wondered what really happened to Amelia Earhart or the lost colony of Roanoke? Do you ever find yourself scouring the internet for vicious Victorians and their murders by gaslight? Or perhaps you're just sick and tired of women being constantly misrepresented or plain lied about throughout history? If so, join me, Katie Charlwood, history harlot and reader of books, on Who Did What Now, the history podcast that's not your history class. Part of the Airwave Media Network. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Adios, au revoir, au revoir, my friends. Bye-bye. I'll be seeing you.
Hey everyone, quick note before we go to break. I kept saying 11 seconds to midnight, and that's not true. It's how I feel.
Yeah.
It's how I feel. I feel like we're 11 seconds and not the actual 100 seconds to midnight.
I have to agree with you. I think that's why I didn't even clock it. I didn't even realize.
It did not
register. 11
register.
seconds sounds correct.
It does.
It sounds, yeah.
Maybe we're more accurate than 11 Nobel laureates.
We'll email them. We'll DM them after
Yeah,
this.
we'll DM them.
Yeah, we'll let them know.
So thanks, everyone. I know you were probably screaming 100 seconds to midnight. So we appreciate it. Now here's some ads.
Yeah, enjoy.
Hey, everyone. Jill Chacha here from Well, That's Interesting. And I am absolutely thrilled to tell you about Spotify for podcasters. I use it. I love it. And it all started by downloading the free Spotify for Podcasters app, which has all the tools you need in one place to record and edit your masterpiece of a podcast. Spotify for Podcasters also distributes your show to all major platforms. So when you hit publish, your episodes will stream not only on Spotify, but I'm talking about the Apples, the Googles, Stitcher, Good Pods, the other ones. You get the idea. And you can monetize your podcast with no minimum listenership required. You could also set up monthly subscriptions and record ads just like this one. So what are you waiting for? Download Spotify for Podcasters today and start changing the world. Oh, and please, stay interesting. And we're back.
We are so back.
We're so back. And the U.S. government just dropped 2 nuclear bombs.
Of course they did.
One on Nagasaki and the other on Hiroshima. Killing around 200,000 civilians.
That's right.
Another round of applause, please.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
So this, of course, was on August 9th, 1945. This day happened to be the absolute worst nightmare scenario come to life for the scientists who had participated in the Manhattan Project.
Yeah.
They harnessed an incredible technology, then it was used to kill. So shortly thereafter, a few things happened. Ye old Cold War heated up between ye old superpowers. And those same scientists were like, fuck this shit. We have to stop it. So they did what any one of us would try and do, and to prevent August 9th from happening again. They published a magazine.
Of course they did. You guys, we can't just write a strongly worded letter, or in this case, a strongly worded magazine, and fix everything. I'm speaking before I even understand what's going on. My apologies.
But it is humorous.
Yes.
Looking back. But
Yeah.
they honestly thought this... Well, we should get into it.
Okay,
It is a
okay.
pretty kick-ass magazine. Okay,
Okay.
so Dr. Marissa, please tell us, what organization/magazine did they form? Who was involved? And what was its purpose?
I would love to talk about it. All right. From Wikipedia, quote, "The Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists is a nonprofit organization concerning science and global security issues resulting from accelerating technological advances that have negative consequences for humanity. The Bulletin publishes content at both a free access website, thebulletin.org, and a bi-monthly, non-technical academic journal. Whew.
Yeah.
One of the driving forces behind the creation of the Bulletin was the amount of public interest surrounding atomic energy and rapid technological change at the dawn of the atomic age. In 1945, the public interest in atomic warfare and weaponry inspired contributors of the Bulletin to attempt to inform those interested about the dangers of the nuclear arms race they knew was coming and about the destruction that atomic war could bring about. Yep.
Here it is.
Here it is. The founder and first editor of the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists was biophysicist Eugene Rabinowitz.
Nailed it.
He founded the magazine with physicist Hyman Goldsmith. Nailed it. Their first intention was to educate fellow scientists about the relationship between the world of science and the world of national and international politics. Look at that. Yeah. A second was to help the American people understand what nuclear energy and its possible applications to war meant.
Bad things.
Yeah. The Bulletin contributors believed the atomic bomb would only be the first of many dangers.
Yes.
Period. The aim of the Bulletin was to carry out the long, sustained effort of educating people about the realities of the scientific age. End quote. This is just a big bad news magazine. This is just... Atomic shit is only the first of many dangers. What?
Yeah.
Oh no! I thought that was like the worst thing that could happen. It's just the first.
This is like the Vogue of shit hitting the fan.
Oh God. Amazing. I mean, not amazing, but you know.
Well, thank you, Doctor. That was a lot, and you fucking nailed it.
Yes, I did.
So, my friends, if you're going to publish a magazine, one really unlike anything before it, you really need a striking cover.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Well, good news. Alexander Langsdorff, who worked on the Manhattan Project, happened to be married to an artist, Martel Langsdorff. Martel. There she is.
I had to say it out loud.
You want to say it together?
Martel.
So, good old co-founder Hyman Goldsmith asked her to come up with the design for the public debut issue in June of 1947.
Mm-hmm.
So, awesome Martel did an awesome thing. Quote, she listened to the scientists.
Wow. What? Sorry.
Who had worked on the bomb, and as they passionately debated the consequences of the new technology and their responsibility to inform the public, she felt their sense of urgency.
Oh, I'm glad. Martel. How?
We need a few Martels. We need a few Martels.
I wish our president was Martel.
Yes. So she sketched a clock to suggest that we don't have much time left to get atomic weapons under control, end quote, from thebulletin.org.
Oh.
That's where it came from. There you go.
I'm connecting it all. Why did I sing? Why do I sing?
Because you're so gay. So gay.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So, my friends, she set the hands 7 minutes to midnight.
Okay.
And honestly, she did it because, quote, it looked good to the eye.
Oh.
She's an artist.
Yes.
But this is when the tradition began.
Aha!
Yeah, according to the website, in the early days, the Bulletin editor, Eugene Rabinowitz, decided whether the hand should be moved. So it was up to him.
Right.
After his death in 1973, the Bulletin's Science and Security Board took over the responsibility and has since met twice a year to discuss world events and reset the clock as necessary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just twice a year? That's fine.
I know. that might change.
Yeah.
Things are happening.
I think this should be at least a weekly recurring Zoom invite, you know?
Maybe every Friday.
Yeah.
You know? It's like a
End
check-in.
of the week.
A check-in. Yeah.
A
exactly.
check-in, yes.
It's a check-in. Okay, so let's get back to that debut cover.
Yes.
And the birth of the Doomsday Clock. Dr. Marissa, I have a photo of that debut cover. And if you would, please tell us just how sleek and deco this thing is. Remember, this was 1947.
Ooh la la.
Shit was getting pretty.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have a photo of it. And all photos that we talk about today will be on our social media stuff. So please come on by and ogle this clock. Or at least first this cover.
Yes.
What do you see here, Dr. Marissa?
Oh,
Yeah.
this is not at all what I expected, but I love it. Oh, I feel like it's ahead of its time. It actually looks really 60s to me. Like it looks very like mod. You know? Y'all are gonna have to look at this yourselves. It's very cool. It's a orange poster at the top in sans serif font. It says Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, and then it has it looks like the list of the scientists. Mm-hmm. But in the background there is I would say like if the clock
hands?
was a pie, you would just see the 9 to 12 slice of it, taking up the entire page. And then in lieu of numbers, it's just simple white circles. And the minute hand is just a simple white line. And the hour hand is a simple black line. And it works. And I love it.
It's gorgeous.
I love it.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Absolutely love it.
This cover went on to inspire the actual physical clock that the
Amazing.
board reveals every January at their press conference. Dr. Marissa, I have an image of that too. And as our resident art critic, would you please tell us?
Me.
Please tell us what you think. Of course, this photo will also be on our social media stuff, so come on by and take a look at the actual clock they reveal every year.
It's great. It's really, but it's also urgent. I'm taking it seriously. It's like I said, it's just that piece of the clock pie.
Yeah.
And then in this case, instead of numbers, it's black circles, white background, and then it's black hands. And then it's underneath it, it says, "It is 100 seconds to midnight," in case you didn't catch it. And it's urgent, it's clear, it's creative, but also calming at the same time. They really nailed it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they really nailed it. It's gorgeous. You could actually go and visit the clock. I believe it's in Chicago. Hit up that website, thebulletin.org, and you can actually go see the clock if you want to.
That's really cute.
So that's right, my friends. This was displayed back on January 20th. Dr. Marissa, thank you for that gentle reminder that it's 100 seconds to midnight.
No problemo.
That we are less than 2 minutes away from causing our own destruction, which, another gentle reminder, is the closest we've ever been, even when you take into account the decades-long threat of nuclear war.
Yeah.
So let's have our third round of applause.
Yeah.
So
well done.
Yeah. So while we're at it, let's start the countdown of the closest times ever,
Okay.
just to put our situation into perspective, shall we?
We shall.
Okay. So, after the Soviet Union tested its first atomic bomb in 1949, Rabanowitz shaved off 5 minutes from the clock, from 7 minutes to midnight to 3 minutes.
Holy mama.
That was a troubling day.
Yeah.
Though, not as bad as, you guessed it, the incredibly stupid spat between Kim Jong-un and Dick-Face Trump.
Oh my God.
Yeah, remember that?
I do remember that. I'm just processing the fact that we haven't been calling him Dick-Face Trump this whole time.
That's true.
Why hasn't someone legally, someone should get in the records and just change that and send him all new passports and stuff.
Dick-face Trump.
I did it. I solved the problem.
Well done.
I did it. I'll see you later.
She left.
It's okay. I'm back.
Come on back.
Back to the clock. Back to Kim Jong-un.
What words? Yeah, so, the incredibly stupid spat between Kim Jong-un and Dick-face Trump, which the bulletin called, quote, hyperbolic rhetoric
Lol.
and provocative actions by both sides that have increased the possibility of nuclear war by accident or miscalculation, end quote.
So embarrassing.
Yeah. And therefore the clock moved to a record-breaking 2 minutes to midnight in 2018. We also, which we lived through as well, so there you go.
Wow, the millennials.
Yeah.
Give it up for us.
Fourth round of applause.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So thank you. Then, my friends, we reached our fateful year, 2020, when 20 additional seconds were shaved off, and here we stand at 100 seconds to midnight. Yeah, we're living in a time more delicate and uncertain than really any other time in modern time, like I said, even in the time of nuclear fucking warfare.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I really didn't know how to end this episode on a positive note. So
I see you have more writing, but it'd be funny if you just ended right there and just you're like, okay, bye.
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 Call me later, bye.
She has more to say, don't worry.
I have so much more, and I'm so excited to actually show you how this episode's going to end. I didn't know how to end it, but the universe decided for me, and as per usual, it reminded me humans ain't all that bad.
What?
And I want to give the biggest shout out to Zach. Zach from the hit podcast, Grading the Nerd. That's Grating. Zach was beautiful and kind enough to drop this knowledge on us over Twitter at just the most serendipitous time, because it's going to end this podcast. Dr. Marissa, please tell us what wonderful game humans have invented and continue to play to this day to distract us from our own inevitable destruction.
Oh my gosh. Nothing, is it called the internet? Nothing would make me happier. All right. From Wikipedia, quote, competitive shin-kicking, oh, great, also known as shin-digging or purring, is a combat sport that involves two contestants attempting to kick each other on the shin in order to force their opponent to the ground. Great. It has been described as an English martial art.
Good job, y'all.
Yeah, well done. And originated in England in the early 17th century. In the 20th century, the sport was also practiced by British immigrants to the United States. So y'all got more on board. Great.
That's right.
It was included in the 1951 revival of the Cotswold Olympic with a K and a C Games, and remains one of its most popular events, run as the World Shin-Kicking Championships. The event now draws crowds of thousands of spectators.
Of course it does.
This is amazing. During each round, the combatants face each other and hold on to each other's collar.
Yep.
What? Question mark. Traditionally, they wear white collars representing...
White coats.
White coats.
I guess because they're doctors, too.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah, representing shepherd smocks. Okay, they typically attempt to strike their opponent's shin with the inside of the foot as well as their toes. Success in the event requires both agility and the ability to endure pain. The loser crying out, "Sufficient!" when he has had enough. That is so British. Sufficient!
Very Crown. Very The Crown.
Oh, that's so The Crown. Oh my God, I can see Claire Foy or the good one. I don't know. Anyways, the matches are observed by a referee or stickler who determines the score of the match. Modern competitions are won by the combatant who wins 6 out of 10 against his competitor. End quote.
Amazing.
Sufficient.
Yeah, I feel like we're all saying sufficient. We've had enough. Sufficient.
We're all screaming our safe words right now. That doesn't even mean anything anymore. Oh, I'm back to my existential crisis. Pull me out, Jill.
All right, here we go. Continuing from the wiki, legend has it some shin kickers wore steel-toed boots.
Why?
During the competitions and tried to build pain tolerance by hitting their own shins with hammers.
No! Don't do that.
No.
Stop.
I'm glad we got some screaming into this episode.
I like how this is making me scream, but not like nuclear warfare. I was like, no.
Yawn. So, in modern competitions, the combatants are required to wear soft shoes.
Thank God.
And stuff their trouser legs with straw for padding. So they've got some rules now.
With straw? Can they not buy shin pads, like, for soccer?
I said straw, goddammit.
Okay.
Ambulance crews also attend the events in case of injury.
Oh my God.
You know, safety third.
Yes.
Now, I said the magic word, modern.
Uh-huh.
Yes, this shin kicking has been going on for centuries, and you bet your ass there's plenty of footage on YouTube.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, yes.
I had a feeling.
Fire it up, my friends, and please search OW, OW, exclamation point, the World Shin-Kicking Competition. Oh, sorry, the World Shin-Kicking Championships of May 2020. Check it out. And behold the Cotswold Olympic Games, specifically the shin-kicking event beginning at 50 seconds in. So you'll have to fast forward a little bit.
Okay, we are going to watch this, right?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay, good,
yes,
good.
Absolutely. We're going to listen to two gentlemen give a quick history of the sport.
Okay.
And then we're going to get into the action.
Thank God. I want to watch these guys kick each other.
That's right. You bet we will. Dr. Marissa, our resident sports announcer.
That's me.
Will give exact detail as to what is happening, and I highly suggest all y'all please watch along.
Please do.
That's again, OW, the World Shin-Kicking Championships, May 2020. All right, I'm going to bring it up right now.
I like how this was worth risking COVID for.
Yes, that's right. They met up on a very large field. What do you see here?
I see the funniest ambulance I've ever seen in my life. It's in this beautiful green field.
So gorgeous.
Everyone's wearing a windbreaker. But yeah, this ambulance is very funny. It's very angular.
It's very tiny.
It's very, it looks European.
Yeah, it looks like it's ready to go in case any shins erupt, I guess.
Yeah,
but,
it looks like maybe one 120-pound person could fit in there.
Yes.
It's very small.
Only one emergency, please.
Yeah, and you better be petite.
All right, here we are.
Okay.
50 seconds in, please come on by and join us.
Shin-kicking actually didn't.
Whoops.
Okay, so we're...
Cotswold wrestling. Very similar to Cornish wrestling, Cumberland wrestling, where you, almost like judo, where you hold your opponent by the shoulders and you attempt to trip or kick.
Pause.
The underplay, as it's called.
Pause.
Yes.
Pause. I just have to quickly, in case you're not watching the clip with us, it's like this guy looks like he is an extra from Sons of Anarchy, which is just my fancy way of saying this guy looks like Burt Reynolds, biker.
Yeah.
The dude,
He does
all
look like the
combined
dude.
into one. And
Yeah.
then he has an accent that's not like any of those people.
Yeah.
So it's,
And knows a lot about shin kicking.
and knows a
Apparently.
lot about shin kicking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get back to it.
Sure.
Fortunately, over the years, the Cotswold boys thought that it needed to be a little bit more vigorous. And it gradually developed into something incredibly brutal. I mean, they used steel toe caps. They'd harden their shins with hammers, coal hammers. And broken bones were quite common. It was very brutal.
I can only
I
catch
love the music.
I love the positive music, and I can only catch like every other word he's saying. So I just heard hammers, vigorous,
Brutal.
brutal. Amazing.
I actually had to make it louder, thinking I would understand him better, but it didn't work.
I thought it would help too, and it just did not.
It did not. But what do you see here, Dr. Marissa? What are they stuffing?
Okay. It looks like they're stuffing some sort of bag with straw.
Oh, well, they're pulling out straw, actually.
They're taking straw out of a bag. My apologies.
One guy's pants are very low, and
I wasn't going to say anything because I'm a gentleman, but I can see that person's panties.
Yeah, at a minute 20, it's a little rough. But Dr. Marissa, please tell us what they're doing with that hay.
I would love to. All right, they've got hay. They're putting it up the leg of their pants.
Is a variation of wrestling.
So this is James Wiseman, a shin-kicking judge, talking right now.
Yeah, and he looks like however you're picturing him.
Complication being that the only way you can get someone to the ground is actually to kick them first, and then when they're off balance by your kick, you can throw them over your leg.
Okay, so it sounds like they're strategies. Oh, now they're...
He's not the sort of person you think. It's not the really big guy. It's the little guy who's got lots of stamina and is very quick on their feet. And it's kind of like someone who'd be good at any martial art, really.
Okay, all right, they're doing it. It's real funny. This is hilarious. Can we pause really quick?
Sure.
Okay, this doesn't look real. I think you made this up. This would be the greatest prank if you had gotten your friends to do this, upstate to do this.
I'm actually shocked.
And make videos to try to make me believe this.
I'm actually shocked this hasn't taken off more in the United States.
This is perfect for the United States.
I mean, it's two guys in a field grabbing each other by the collar and
lab coats.
With lab coats on.
Lab coats, and they've got the bottom parts of their pants duct taped up. Not even duct tape; it's packing tape.
It does look like beige packing tape.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then their pants are full of straw, and they're just kicking each other like kids. It's so dumb. I don't mean any disrespect. My country does all kinds of dumb things too, but it's adorable.
What a joy! Yeah, they're in a field. There's a nice crowd.
There's a lot
nice
of people, families, grass. I don't see any alcohol, which is confusing me.
Maybe, this guy right here, he's ready.
Oh,
on the
I
stairs.
see him. Okay, yeah. I think they have beer somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe it's BYOB. Okay.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, here we go. We're playing.
Yep, they're still doing it. And they're...
Oh.
Yeah. Knocks them to the ground. It's really cute. It's actually very intimate. You have to be really close to someone.
Yeah.
Like, they're about to make out at any second.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel about wrestling, though. I'm like, this is so... Yay.
So, yeah, I mean, they're kicking away.
They're kicking away.
There is a referee with a stick.
And he's doing nothing.
Yeah.
He's just kind of following them around.
And this is my favorite part. There's no signal or whatever, and then he decides who won, and I don't know why.
I don't know why that person won either.
No idea.
I was... Wow. Okay. I now see how many people are there. It's really
so
a
many.
lot of people.
It's so many people.
This is something that would do well in Austin, Texas. They're really into pointless stuff there. And I feel like pointless stuff where you can drink during the day, that is them. It's really hard not to walk into like a festival.
Yes, on accident.
Accident. Yeah.
Well, this definitely looks like something you could stumble into.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And win.
And win. You might win at this competition and not know why.
Yeah.
That's it's incredible. I mean, thank you, Zach, for...
Thank you, Zach. This made my year.
Yeah. Zach from Grading the Nerd. Amazing. And if anyone else has any other incredible sport, please DM us. Email us.
We'll talk about it.
Yes.
We'll watch it. We'll be rude about it.
That's right.
Unless it's really like...
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's...
Like a sport where people come and give me stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's...
You just want free stuff?
I just want more stuff. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, we will definitely use it to end very devastating episodes like episode 074 was.
Absolutely.
It's very devastating. And thank you for listening, subscribing, rating, telling your friends about the Doomsday Clock. Wow.
Y'all are the best.
You're absolutely amazing. And please, stay interesting.
Please do.